Oh, you're back. Oh. That was a long couple of hours. Here's some wrestling news. The WWE Draft is returning, and we have the details. Another top New Japan star is out of action, and the bizarre reason a top Raw star was reprimanded. We'll get to it in a bit. As a proud chunky boy in the height of summer, I love a good draft. Even the wrestling kind. The WWE Draft, which we haven't seen since last year, that we saw just as SmackDown was beginning on Fox, is coming back again. But there was a little bit of umming and ahhing about when it would be coming back. And we've got a little bit of confirmation now, thanks to Fightful and Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. So Fightful reported over the weekend that the draft was going to be returning this month in August. Then it was moved to September. Then we understand that it was moved to October. And now we understand it is back at September. In fact, Meltzer has said, despite all that, that the dates have changed again, and now it's looking like 2 days in October. But it could move to September. It's probably going to be October at the rate that this is going. So October, over 2 episodes, 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown, we are going to see the WWE Draft take place. Now, I wouldn't be against it happening in September, to be honest, because come November, we've got Survivor Series, haven't we? We've got the battle for brand supremacy, and it feels strange to have wrestlers who have been with the company for only, with the brand rather, for only like a couple of weeks now, fighting for the honor of Raw and SmackDown. It just seems strange to have that. I would rather sort of see them drafted in September and then have a couple of months to get their head around it and then go from there. That would make more sense to me. But the draft's always a fun time. I'm glad we've gone back to the traditional way of doing the draft, whereby it's picked for different rosters and people can buy and vie for different stars. The lottery thing, I think I just personally prefer it to it being like bidding for people. That's the bit I like. It kind of makes those purchases and those moves feel a bit more significant when that happens. Draft coming soon. Another top New Japan star is out of action. Hiromu Takahashi is missing out on several dates for New Japan, back at the end of this month following an injury that he accrued last week. And now another name has been added to the injured list for New Japan, this one for New Japan of America. So this is a statement from NJPW, who say Juice Robinson has suffered an injury to his right leg and is currently unable to compete. As a result of his injury, Robinson will not be competing on forthcoming New Japan Strong broadcast, which start in August the 7th when LEC presents New Japan Cup USA. We apologise to fans who are looking forward to seeing Robinson wrestle. We appreciate your understanding and we wish Juice the best in his recovery. You know that when Juice is back, he is going to be such a big element to New Japan of America. Like as a former IWGP champion, it seems right to have this guy as very much a center point. So even though he's missing some action now, I think once this thing gets going again, once he's back and working 100%, he's going to be a big part of this. I'm calling it now. We look ahead to SummerSlam later on this month. It's going to be Randall Keith versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And one WWE Hall of Famer wants a piece of the action. That would, of course, be the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now, Flair, who has been sort of an associate of Randy Orton's over the last couple of weeks, wants to be part of the SummerSlam picture. He said in an interview, the thing with Orton is it's a real life story. His dad and I have been friends since the 70s. We probably started around the same time. I watched Randy grow up. I was there the day he came up with Dave in Evolution. I'm trying to get me to manage Randy against McIntyre. I don't know. I haven't heard back. But it's not because I'm not trying. That's from a Ric Flair interview he did with TV Insider. Ric Flair being a part of Randy Orton's story, we've talked about this on Raw Graded quite a bit. Whilst it's always nice to see Flair, I don't think he's a necessary part of this story. Like, I think Randy Orton is more than equipped to tell this legend killer story without Ric Flair being there. And without putting Ric Flair in a position to be, in amongst lots of people during a global health crisis. I'd like to know what you think, actually, because personally I think this angle would be fine without Ric Flair being in it. I think it's working fine. Let me know in the comments what you think. And while you're there, let me know your favourite animal. I quite like a llama. They're fun. A wonderful homage to Titus ONeil has been made by the National Hockey League. Titus tweeted this out saying, "I'm humbled and honoured that I was recognised as a community hero by the NHL during the Stanley Cup qualifiers opener. This was done in conjunction with their support We Skate for Black Lives campaign." Hashtag winning. Titus ONeil just continues to paint himself as one of the true good guys in professional wrestling. And I think we need to see him more on WWE TV for that reason, if nothing else. Like, I would want Titus ONeil's lasting memory to not be slipping on his way down to the ring at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I want him to hold a major championship. He's too good a guy to not be shown all the respect in the world. Big love, Titus ONeil. Love your work, mate. And a top WWE star apparently was reprimanded for ring attire. This is a funny old story. So WWE put out a tweet saying that they wanted to find out what the fans' favourite SummerSlam wrestling attire is. And a few people sent in tweets of their favourite wrestlers, and one tweet in particular was Dolph Ziggler's attire from SummerSlam a year or so back. It was when he had the Intercontinental Championship like spray painted across his tights. It was a good look. Big fan of it. And Dolph Ziggler, quote, retweeted this, saying, "Imagine being reprimanded for this." Apparently Dolph Ziggler got in trouble for having the Intercontinental title sprayed across his tights. It would seem a strange thing to do, whether or not they feel like it would called the answer to called the result too soon. I don't know. It seems a strange thing to get told off for, but it's a great look, and it lends itself to that old adage, which is always better to seek forgiveness rather than ask permission. Because we wouldn't have got it otherwise. There's been worse things sprayed on tights over the last couple of years. You know, Velveteen Dream called for a call-up on his tights the one year. Rick Rude used to have people's wives on his. A belt's not that bad, surely. Surely to goodness. I want to end today talking about a wrestling legend. You may have seen people tweeting over the weekend about the passing of Mark Hussey, aka Mark Rollerball Rocco, and his significance in the wrestling industry shouldn't go unnoticed. So Mark Rollerball Rocco, if you're an old school British wrestling fan, you'll know Rollerball Rocco from the British circuit during the height of World of Sport on a Saturday. He would take it into feuds with guys like the Dynamite Kid, Marty Jones, Kendo Nagasaki. He'd have matches and cut promos that even today still stand the test of time. I encourage you to look up some of his matches that he had as part of World of Sport, and you can see that. But it's not just in the UK where his impact was felt. He went over to Japan and he worked as Black Tiger. He was very influential in the career of guys like Jushin Thunder Liger, and his series, Black Tiger series with Tiger Mask, something to behold. Truly is. Of course, the Black Tiger moniker would go on to be owned and taken to another level by Eddie Guerrero, but Rollerball Rocco had that mask on first and was very much a career-defining performance for Rollerball Rocco. He retired in 1991. This was following a heart condition, and even after his retirement, he was still part of the wrestling industry. It was in 2002 that his heavy middleweight title was awarded to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, the guy, of course, who would go on to be known as Daniel Bryan. And he was part of the TNA British Boot Camp as well, where his legacy was shown to a worldwide audience once again. It was sad to hear the news of Rollerball Rocco passing away at the age of 69 whilst in care in Warrington. Many people have come out and spoken about Mark Rollerball Rocco. The NWA champion Nick Aldis said, "We just lost one of our absolute best. Mark Rollerball Rocco was a true pioneer and so ahead of his time. I was so privileged to get to spend some time with him in 2012. Hear his advice and his amazing stories. One of the nicest men I've ever met. Truly a game changer." Colt Cabana who there is a great podcast with Cabana and Rollerball Rocco that is definitely worth a listen. It's the Art of Wrestling podcast that Cult did. He said, sad to hear of the passing of Mark Rollerball Rocco. I've worn the Cabana Rama headband to the ring for most of my career as a homage to Rollerball, one of my all-time favourites. Jushin Thunder Liger, who wrestled against Rollerball Rocco, both in the UK and in Japan, said, the other day my teacher, Black Tiger, Mark Hussey, died. He taught me many things through professional wrestling in the British Expedition and Japan. Thank you very much. We pray for the souls. And a really fitting tribute from Bret the Hitman Hart, who obviously is connected to Rollerball Rocco through Dynamite Kid and the amazing matches they had. Bret Hart said goodbye to probably the all-time hardest working British wrestler, Mark Rollerball Rocco. When he wrestled the Dynamite Kid back in the 70s and 80s, it was incredible to watch, like two pinballs flying all over the place at a pace that nobody could top. Mark was a wonderful guy and a one-of-a-kind performer. I am so glad I got to know him and work with him. He was truly special. Well, we here at Cultaholic as well send nothing but love to the friends and family of Mark Rollerball Rocco. Do me a favour, stick Rollerball Rocco into YouTube and enjoy. Have a great Monday. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.